Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to stop the chitter chatter and get ready for what matters. You know, it's Tuesday Night Fight Talk. My name is Jaya McClain. I'm a former two-time cruiserweight champion of the world, and I'm your host, and this is my show. Now let's go! My special guest on the show tonight hails from Chicago, Illinois. He's a former Olympian from the 1992 Olympic Games in Barcelona, Spain. And he is the former WBC light heavyweight champion of the world. Put your hands together right now. Start clapping right now. Let's hear it for my man, Montell Ice Griffin.
What's up, champ?
Man, I can't call it, man. Everything cool. Sitting here taking it day by day.
Staying Rona free, right?
Yeah. Pretty much.
No, pretty much.
Yeah. Rona free.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about, man. I appreciate you being on the show, man.
It's all good, man.
So, yeah, man, I've been wanting to do this show for a minute, and this is like the perfect time, you know. Everybody got a little extra spare time, so we're going to get it in. And what I don't want to do, though, what I'm not going to do with this show, I'm not going to make a whole bunch of comparisons from the old school to the new school. Because it is what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is what it is. We fought the way we fought. They fight the way they fight. It is what it is. And we're not going to see all those fantasy fights. And they're going to never happen. So I don't even care. You know what I mean?
Right. True.
It ain't going to ever happen. But, man, I just like to talk about your story, man, because your story is so unique. And there's so many people outside of the boxing purists that don't know the little details about your career, man. Like, for one, how you started boxing, then you stopped, and then you came back and went to the Olympics. Like, you got athletes, fighters like myself, who was boxing, and I mean, I used to quit every summer in Vegas because it was too hot. but I mean, you got people that dedicate their whole lives to want to become an Olympian and never make it. And here you are, you started, and then you took off. What'd you say? You took off 8 years?
Took off 8 years.
Yeah, okay, so run that down. Give us that story.
My father wanted to teach my brother self-defense. He went to Johnny Coulin's boxing club. I want to say 71. Learned the game from Johnny Coulin. Johnny was getting older. He wanted to get rid of his gym. My father bought it in 73 and renamed it Windy City Boxing Club. So at 73, I was 3 years old. I was in the gym every day with my brother. I was just being a kid, growing up. And my father passed away in 83. And my mother didn't want me to box no more, so I quit boxing and came back in 91. So I took off 8 years, just grew up as a regular teenager in Chicago, streets of Chicago, gang banging, getting drunk, smoking weed, and trying to get girls.
Hey, man, hold on, man. You keep saying as a regular kid in Chicago. Okay, you're right. Maybe in Chicago, that is what a regular kid does.
That's what regular kids do in Chicago. I mean, we shot ball, we gang bang a little bit, we
y'all
got drunk and hung out. That's pretty much that was my everyday life.
Y'all had quarter parties to get the month for rent like a coolie.
Actually, my big brother, he not, we don't have the same, we not blood brothers, but my big brother, Ambrose, he pretty much took care of me as a shorty. I was drinking him when I was 16 on a regular, like every day. You know what I'm saying? It was my brother 10 years older than me, so I started drinking when I was 13. And then by that time, 16 years old, I was a professional.
Professional drinker?
Professional drinker, yeah.
Okay, so why didn't your moms not want you to box?
Religion and, just because the sport was, dangerous, and her religion. She didn't want me to box, so it was over.
So,
I mean, she, when my father was alive, he was able to, take up for me, so I was able to box with him. But when he passed away, it was over.
So what got you back into boxing? How did you get back in it?
In 1989, one of my closest.
The reason I ask you that is because I know you're in your gym, and all them belts behind you, they got to be yours. So you got back in and done all right.
I got back in it. I got back in it.
But how did you get back in it?
1989. One of my best friends got shot in the head at a bowling alley, and when I saw him laying in that casket, it hit me so hard. It was like I mourned his death and my father's death, because when my father died, we had voted on him to get cremated, and we never saw him. I never saw my father dead, so it was kind of like I tried to block it out, like it didn't happen. But
and then when you saw that body,
when I saw that body, it just took me back to my father, and I mourned two different people at the same time, and I went into a huge depression. Lost my car. I mean my job. My car broke down. I got up to 210, just fat, and
5'2", 210,
5'7", 210. give me my little extra. Give me my little couple of inches.
All right.
You tall. Give me my little couple of inches.
Man, so you went through a depression.
Man, bad, worst year of my life, man.
And how old you say you were? 13?
I'm talking about when Ruben died. I was 19. I was 19.
Yeah.
I was 19. And so a year, like I said, that went on for a year. I got the phone call in 2020. I mean, I'm sorry, 90. So and I had a car that wasn't running, and one of my closest friends' father was a mechanic. So I said, look, man, I'm trying to go to LA to, do something with my life. He bought the car for $500. I bought me a plane ticket. It was $300, and I had $200 left in my pocket.
Where you bought a plane ticket to?
To LA, to go to LA.
For what?
To start boxing. That's why I started boxing at.
So I'm saying, what happened? Like, what gave you the opportunity, and how did you know to just go to LA?
Like I said, my nephew called me out the clear blue sky. I hadn't talked to him in years. And he said, hey, Unc, man, what you doing? I said, I ain't doing nothing. He said, you might as well come out here to LA and start boxing. I said, okay. Just like that. And he's like, man, stop, man. No, I'm serious. I said, I'm serious. And that's when I sold my car. And I said about a month or two later, I was in LA.
What? So your you say your uncle, your cousin?
My nephew.
Okay, did he box?
No, he just knew, you knew I had boxed as a kid. And
damn.
It was just a crazy phone call out to clear blue sky. And
okay,
I took him on his office.
You went out there, and then what? And what happened after that? The rest is history.
Now, check this out. Now, this a real boxing person gonna understand this. I moved to LA December of 1990. I had my first fight in January of 1991.
The fuck out of here.
And it was in the semifinals of the U.S. Amateur Championships. Broke. I fought heavyweight.
You fought heavyweight?
I fought heavyweight my first two fights. And I went 2-0. I broke my thumb in the semifinals of the U.S. Championships, so I couldn't fight in the championships. And then my next fight, I got down to 185. I fought heavyweight. Got my nose broke. So there's two fights in a row. And I'm like, man, this ain't really going like I thought. But I couldn't give up. I couldn't give up. And I finally made it down to 178 and went to the Nationals. I went to the Golden Gloves. And I only had two fights. But I'm like, man, I was running out of time. I need to know how good I really were. How good I really was. It's 1,000 kids that fought as kids.
Right.
That you tell them they good, but they not really good.
Right.
I wanted to know how good I was. So I lied and told them I was 12-0 so I could fight open. When I only had 2 fights.
Right.
And I won the Golden Gloves, I won the regions, and I went to the nationals and fought Jeremy Williams with 7 fights.
Damn.
And you know, I didn't get the decision, but he told me after the fight, he said, where the hell did you come from, man?
Right.
And I told him my story. He said, man, you know what? You got me tonight, but I'm gonna get you again. I said, all right, we'll see, champ. And that's what got me on the map. My fight with Jeremy Williams. It is on YouTube. You can watch it.
That stamped it for you. Oh, that's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube. My first fight with Jeremy, I lost, but I got robbed. I fought him in his hometown, and they booed the decision.
Damn. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely watch that one.
Yeah. So you know, that was the beginning. That's what got me on the map. So, like, I was going places, and they was like, man, that's the shorty that fought Jeremy. You know what I'm saying? So that's what got me on the map. And then, you know, I trained and, you know, kept fighting until, you know, the U.S. Championships came around the next year, and I won that. So, in 1 year, I had my first fight in January 91. January 92, I was number 1 in the nation.
Yeah. And then with, you say 30 fights.
With I had 30 fights when I made the limit team. When I beat Jeremy for the box off, that was my 30th fight.
Wow. That's crazy. That is crazy. That's hellable, man. That is hellable.
Yeah.
So, shit, where the Iceman come from?
The crazy thing about it, when I came back from Barcelona, my buddy Brian Cooper just started calling me Ice out of nowhere. I never asked him, well, why? I never wanted, you know, he just called me Ice. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? So when I turned pro, they asked, do you have a nickname? I said, well, my friend called me Ice. That's how I wrote it down. And but you know, Eddie Futch got the credit for it. Eddie Futch, you know, said I was so cool under pressure. You know what I'm saying? Ice, you know, he cool as ice. That's what stuck. He got the credit for it.
Papa Smurf.
Papa Smurf, you know, he got the credit for it, but my buddy of mine from the neighborhood called me Ice. That's how I stuck.
Yeah, man. You brought up his name, so you might as well talk about it, man. Talk about Papa Smurf and what he meant to you in your career.
Papa Smurf meant a lot to me. I mean, you gotta understand, I'm a Muhammad Ali fan, so with him training Joe Frazier,
that was the crazy part. Like go ahead, my bad. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, you know, I always knew who he was because of Joe Frazier, and you know, I got a phone call from my manager. He said, "Get dressed. We going to DC. I'm gonna have you meet Eddie Futch. He gonna be your trainer." And I said, Eddie Futch. He said, okay, yeah, him too. I said, okay. So I walked in the gym, and you know, we athletes, we competitors. So my first conversation with Eddie Futch, I took it as disrespect. You know what I'm saying? I walked in the gym. Eddie Futch said, "I heard you want me to train you." He said, "You get spar Mike McCallum, and I'm gonna make up my mind from that." So when he said that, I just looked. It was wartime. It was wartime. You know what I'm saying? I got in, I did my thing, and you know, I ain't got to even say what happened in the ring. When the bell was over, when the bell rung, he walked up to me and shook my hand, said, "Welcome to the team." So that's pretty much how Eddie first started training.
And Mike McCallum was a bad man.
Hall of Famer. You know what I'm saying?
The most fighter.
I had 7 pro fights, and I did my thing.
Yeah, that's what's up.
I had 7 pro fights when I sparred Mike. Yeah, I did my thing, and Eddie Futch became my trainer. And like we would always joke about Frazier and Ali all the time. Like we would laugh and joke and talk, and you know, it was cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just playing. But yeah, that was the crazy part for me because you know, Eddie Futch training Frazier and me loving Ali my whole life. You know, that was crazy when he was training me too. Right.
I mean, he told me. He said, man. He said you built just like Joe Frazier. I don't know why you like Muhammad Ali. I said, that's my man.
Right. But you don't fight nothing like Joe Frazier.
No, I mean, you know, because of watching video. I started watching videos 4, 5, 6 years old as a kid, looking at Muhammad Ali, and I just bit his style. I mean, of course, I'm not saying I fought like Muhammad Ali, but that's where I took my style from.
Right, the elusiveness, the hit and not get hit.
Yeah, I was just blessed with that ability, and I just picked it up with my own eyes.
Yeah,
and it's just crazy. I don't know how. Like, I don't remember learning how to box. So you know what I'm saying. So when I got to LA, I was just basically fighting off of memory. You know what I'm saying? It was crazy. You know what I'm saying? And
so let me ask you about this. When you was talking about Ali and how much he meant to you and your father, because your father used to be up in the camp, and when you was younger, I know you was in the camp. So what about the time when your pops told you getting ready to go see that man? What was that about?
Well, my pops was showing me videos of all the great fighters. He loved Joe Louis. Now I'm 5 years old. Joe Louis, one of the greatest heavyweight champs in history, and I just couldn't get into Joe Louis. I mean, he just wasn't. I watched it, but I'm like, okay, he great. He good. You know what I'm saying? And he showed
Ali
me
said
videos.
he was the best.
Pardon me?
Ali said Sugar Ray Robinson was the best.
Well, personally, this how crazy it is. I personally sat and talked to Ali, and he told me he was the best. So, you know what I'm saying? It's just crazy.
He told me Sugar Ray Robinson was the best, and then he was the best.
Okay, he told me he was the best. But
okay, anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, just watching the videos and everything, and I was 5 years old. I remember like it was yesterday. My father said, "Get ready." I said, "Where we going?" He said, "Don't you know that guy that you like, that you seen on video? We going to see him." And of course, I didn't believe it. I'm like, "Okay, Dad, whatever you say." I got in the car. We pulled up. Ali had a garage in the Woodline area where he kept his cars. And we went there, and I walked in his office, and I saw him. I said, there you go. There go that guy. And it was like 15 people in line. He was just passing out money to everybody. And I'm watching it. I'm like, this man is giving money to people. You know what I'm saying? Right. I'm like, he awesome. He the greatest. And when he got done, he just told me, he said, come here, put me on my lap, kissed me, and took a picture. I still got that picture to this day. And from that time on, it was a love affair. I wanted to be Muhammad Ali. You know what I'm saying? I went to camp. I went to camp in '77 when he was training for Ernie Shavers. Tony Tubbs was my roommate. I was Tony Tubbs' roommate. Jimmy Ellis, former world champion, was there with Ali in camp. Larry Holmes was there sparring. And it was just a crazy experience, man. I walked in the dressing room one day, and Larry Holmes was talking real loud. He said, man, all this is going to be one day. I'm going to be the man. And I took it as disrespect because I was a kid. Until I saw him on TV, I'm saying, that's the guy who was talking garbage Ali camp. He won the world title, had the second longest reign ever. And I said, I understand everything what he meant that day.
Yeah.
And I actually talked to him about
it. Yeah, that's deep. Yeah, I used to love Larry Holmes, man. Not necessarily I used to love him. I used to just love to fight on his cards. I used to fight on his cards at the end of his career when he was fighting at the Biloxi in Mississippi. And I was living in Atlanta. I used to be on the undercard all the time.
When he fought the kid from St. Louis, that was supposed to be his last TV fight. I was in camp with Riddick Bowe in New Orleans. Mm-hmm. I said, champ, man, we got to go see Larry Holmes.
Larry Holmes, right.
He was like, all right, let's go. We jumped in the bus. We went to the fight, and, because I was with Bowe, we went to his dressing room, and I talked to him, and I told him that story.
Yeah. Now you bring up another somebody that's all the way shot out. My man, Bowe. Tell me about Riddick Bowe.
Riddick Bowe, man, I got so much respect for Riddick Bowe, man. Riddick Bowe let me be in camp with him. He let me fight on his undercards. I was like a family to him, you know what I'm saying? And that was just a great experience. I mean, you gotta understand, me and Lennox Lewis had the same promoter, and me and Riddick Bowe had the same trainer. So I was able to be on all their cards. So it was just a great experience, you know what I'm saying? But Riddick Bowe will always mean a lot to me.
Yeah, that's my man. Riddick Bowe is my dude. He coming on the show next.
Okay, tell myself what's up.
Yeah.
The hardest thing I ever seen in pro boxing history, Riddick Bowe told Eddie Futch he wasn't sparring. Eddie Futch said, yes, you sparring. You better get ready. You sparring. Riddick Bowe said, okay. He got in the ring, the bell ring. He walked to the middle of the ring and knocked the dude out with one punch. And turned around and told Eddie Futch, I told you I wasn't sparring, and got out the ring. That's the greatest thing I ever seen in my life. That was the greatest thing I ever seen in my life.
Hey, man, and Riddick Bowe is the one to do it. Let me find out.
Man, Riddick Bowe is that so? Is that so?
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
well, man, look, man, you've been around greatness your whole life. You've been around greatness, all these great fighters, man. So, I mean, it was like second nature for you to become a world champion, an Olympian, and to do all the great things that you've done. But I have to say that I think one of your biggest accomplishments, maybe because it was my era, and I know how good these two guys are, and I know what they meant to boxing, especially in their era of boxing. When you beat these guys, you were one of two guys to beat James Toney and Roy Jones in their prime. In their prime.
Right.
That's huge right there.
And it's crazy. When I fought James Toney, he was the #1 pound for pound fighter in the world. 3 months before I fought him. Roy Jones was the #1 pound for pound fighter in the world. So I could say, you know what I'm saying, I got 3 wins against 2 of the greatest fighters in history. A lot of people who love Roy Jones don't accept the fact that I beat him or don't want to give me that credit. It's cool, you know what I'm saying? I told Roy Jones about it. I said, your fans love you so much that they hate me because you hit me. And he cracked up laughing. But, you know, it is what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's part of life.
Yeah,
part of my background, yeah.
Yeah, man. Well, shit, man. I just, I think those were some of your biggest accomplishments. What do you think was your biggest accomplishment in boxing?
I mean, to this day, making an Olympic team was the best experience of my life.
Yeah.
Even though I got the wins against them guys, and the reason I'm gonna explain it to you. 1976, Ray Leonard won the gold medal. I watched that fight with my father, and my goal was to make the Olympic team just because of that fight and to win the gold medal. I mean, I got robbed of my gold medal. Everybody that know the story, whatever. But to make that Olympic team in a year and a half with 30 fights.
It's incredible.
To be 3 #1 light heavyweights in the nation and to be the world champion, it's just to me
Crazy.
that's my greatest accomplishment. As far as the pros, the second James Toney fight was my greatest accomplishment because the first fight they said it was a fluke and I couldn't do it again, and the second time I beat him unanimously. So after that, I felt like I belonged.
Yeah, that's what's up. And you wasn't scared because you told me you was gonna slap him.
Nah, well, yeah, you my man. I love you, but you was a troublemaker. You used to love to talk garbage and start stuff, and
hey man, we got to keep you on your P's and Q's, bro.
Yeah. We was at Arizona Charlie's. Now look, check this out. We was at Arizona Charlie's at the fight. James Toney was with 7 people. And I walked around the corner. They said, there you go, right there. There you go. And James like, yeah. And I walked up to James Toney with 7 people around him. I walked up to him and punched him and poked him in his chest. I said, man, you just get your fat ass ready to fight. And turned and walked away. And nobody said nothing to me.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe it. I definitely believe it.
I walked up to him, put my finger in his chest, and said, just get your fat ass in shape. Because it was like a month before the fight, and he looked like he was 200 pounds.
Yeah, he ballooned up all the time.
But, you know what I'm saying? But at the press conference, he said, I'm ready, and I don't have no confidence. I mean, I don't have no excuses. He said, I have no excuses. And then he pushed me, and I stole on him. But, that's another story.
Yeah. Well, we talked about some of your great accomplishments, and you know, I got to talk about the worst night in your box.
Of our lives. The
Okay,
worst night of our lives.
okay, of our lives.
The worst. That's why we so cool.
This is your interview.
Huh?
This is your interview. How I get involved?
But it's my interview, but you was there.
I was there.
Hey, look, check this out. 1991, I'm fighting amateur. I was at a tournament, and I'm watching these two guys fight, and they was beating the shit out of each other. And I said, man, how could people want to fight? And I said, wait a minute. I got to fight tonight. I said, let me get my mind right. I said, you know what? From that day on, I said, I would never watch nobody fight before me. 1991. Yeah. And 1997, I watched your fight. The first time in 6 years. And I got my ass whooped.
Hey, man. I got my ass whooped, too.
Yeah, it is what it is.
But I gotta clear the record, though. I did not get knocked out.
Go ahead. We both gonna clear the record. Go ahead.
I did not get knocked out. Everybody think the man hit me so hard. You was the main event. I was a co-main event on pay-per-view. I was defending my title, and you was defending your title. And I was fighting Ezra Sellers. Yeah. And everybody swear he hit me so hard he broke my ankle. And they got a good fight saying it, but it's not true. He did drop me. In the first round, he dropped me, and I got up, and I was not hurt. So I was in the corner trying to slip, whoop, 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 slipping, and I bent over, and I seen the uppercut coming, and I pulled back with all my might. And he did not hit me with the uppercut. But when I pulled back, I lost my balance, and I fell and snapped my ankle. My foot was up here by my knee. And I just laid on the ground in pain, yelling, fuck, fuck. If you watch the tape, that's all you see me saying, fuck, because I know I lost my title. That's all I cared about, because I was planning on calling you out. I was going to call you out, but I was just trying to build my name. And I was like, at this time, I'm going to call out Montell, and if Roy win, I'm going to call out Roy. But, man plan and God laugh, because God's the best of planners. So everybody say I got hit so hard I broke my ankle, but that's not what happened.
All right, okay. Well, my side of the story, I'm 50 years old. I'll be 50 years old in a couple of months. You grow up and everything. You look at things differently. I fought Roy Jones, one of the greatest fighters in history. People to this day looked at the video and said, why was Roy Jones warming up and you didn't have your clothes on? And I tell them the story was when people who know in boxing, when it's time to wrap hands, both camps send another man in another camp.
Well, wait. Before that, remember, they wouldn't even let us play our music in the dressing room.
I don't remember that part. You know why? Because I wasn't at fight time yet, so I was just chilling. Right. They ain't let you play it loud because we was just in a one room with curtains. It wasn't no real dressing room. Right. And that worked against me because
the champ of the world.
The world champ. I mean, to this day, I could show. I should have. When they interviewed me on TV, I messed up because it was a sign in the dressing room that said that we was gonna go to the ring at 10:45 and the fight was gonna start at 11. It was like 10:30. It was a pay-per-view fight. Every pay-per-view fight, they do the stories of the camps, right? Right. They didn't do our story. It's pay-per-view, so it ain't no time. You know what I'm saying? No, they didn't have to worry about the time. I was not allowed, to warm up for 5 minutes for that fight. It is what it is. I went out there, I lost in the first round, and nothing I could do about it. A couple of days later, I get a phone call from Chris Bird, and he said, a guy from Roy Camp, I ain't going to say his name, told him, he said, man, he said, I heard what they did to you, man. I feel so bad for you. And I kept that in for 20 years. I saw the guy 20 years later, and I asked him about it. And he said, yeah, we got you. He said, we rushed you in there on purpose. We ain't let you warm up, and your manager and promoter knew about it. And that broke my heart. Now, I'm not saying that if I would have warmed up, I would have beat Roy. I don't know what would have happened, but I trained for 10 weeks. I was in tip-top shape. But I just put it to you like this. I had 59 pro fights, and I was never hurt but one time. Right. So I just leave it at that.
Right. Yeah, that was our worst night in boxing history.
Worst night in boxing history. Me and you together.
Yeah, man. But, we still here. We good.
We still here, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm
been through a lot. We've seen a lot.
Yeah. Been through a lot, seen a lot, learned a lot.
You know what I'm saying? You in the gym, you training fighters. I'm ring announcing. I mean, we still doing what we love, so.
You got to take the good with the bad, man. You know what I'm saying? I tell everybody can't be Muhammad Ali, Oscar De La Hoya, Floyd Mayweather. Some people, got to go the hard route. And, you know what I'm saying? That's what I did, man. I actually, look, me and Roy pretty cool now. I talk to him a lot. And I told Roy one time, and he just couldn't believe it. I said, Roy, I had my first fight in January 1991 after not fighting for 8 years. I said, 4 years later, I beat James Toney. I said, I was only fighting for 4 years and I beat James Toney. He said, that's remarkable.
Yeah.
I was fighting 4 years when I fought James Toney.
Yeah, that's
I made the Olympic team with 30 amateur fights, and I beat James Toney with 14 professional fights.
That is crazy.
How many people could say that?
Right. How many people could say like a whole bunch of the things that you've done? Like you had a hell of a career, bro.
Right, I appreciate it.
Them belts wouldn't be up there if you didn't.
I appreciate it, man. I didn't dodge nobody. I didn't dodge nobody. I fought everybody.
Right. Well, you ducked me. That was about it.
You was cruiserweight. But how I ducked you?
Hey, but listen, let me ask you this. Who was that great promoter that put you in a great fight at the Stardust Hotel in Las Vegas, Nevada?
I was going through a divorce in 2001. I moved to Vegas. And you was the first promoter that gave me opportunity.
You remember who you fought? George Kleinsmith.
Okay. I thought I had the post. I got the post over there, but you know what? It ain't. I got to look at it because I got the post over there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that real quick. Where's the poster? Over where? Where's the building you sitting in right now?
I'm in my gym. Clarence Griffin, Windy City Boxing Club. We've been open 2 years. We got nonprofit programs. We got after-school matters programs. We got youth programs. So I'm just trying to give back, champ.
That's what's up.
And yeah, I got the poster from that fight that you promoted.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Yeah. Well, look, man, I'm glad that we was able to get back on this call, man. We got it right this time. And anybody you want to shout out, man, plug anything, put your info out there where people can find you, let them know.
Well, first of all, we going through a pandemic right now, the coronavirus. I want to show love and give prayers to all the families that lost members. I'm on five guys that I grew up with that died during the coronavirus, and it's serious out there. I just hope we get through this and can get on with our regular lives. But that means a lot to me. Hope everybody is okay. But as far as myself, like I said, I reopened my father's gym, Clarence Griffin, Windy City Boxing Club. I'm at 2150 South Canal Port of Chicago in the basement in Lacuna Lost, where they film Black Ink. I got a book coming out. Should be dropping in the next 2 or 3 weeks. Called The Ice Life, a book about my life, a crazy life. That's it's a movie. My life is a movie. You know what I'm saying? We see what happened, but so I hope people check out my book and see if they like it.
Absolutely. I can tell you this much. You got some great stories and some hell of a pictures. And I can't wait for the book. I know it's gonna be off the chain, and the movie to follow. So all the best to you, champ. Keep your hands up, stay on your feet.
Hey, you remember one thing you said to me when you saw my book? You told me that Muhammad Ali won 25 of my fights for me. He said, man, that's 25 wins right there.
Yeah.
And I understand what you're saying now because other people said it too.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? And all that is because of Clarence Griffin. I had a great father who's gone too soon, and my whole life, I've been going out my way to not make my father look bad.
Well, that's what's up, man. You're doing an outstanding job, champ. I'm sure that your father is smiling down on you right now, bro.
I appreciate it, champ. Much respect, man. Y'all be cool out there.
All right, man. You too.